think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. I apologize for the slight delay. I was still in the other live, y'all. I had a hard out, but it wasn't exactly a hard out. So I apologize. Thank you for being here. Linda Gamble, thank you for being here this morning. Happy Thursday, Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you. It is great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm running a banner that reminds everybody that everything is alleged. It's in my opinion, as Baby Tamra Judge said. So if you would hit the like button on your way in, I would appreciate that. Just use it as a doorbell. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And we thank you so much for that. Thank you. American Born, welcome in. Good morning again. It is great to see you. We have Linda Gamble in here as well. And American Born saying, good morning to Linda Gamble. American born, don't stay away from me. American born, come in and take your seat. So we are here to talk about In the City, Season 1, Episode 5. And this is Trolley Off the Tracks. And Trolley Off the Tracks, it refers to an event that Kyle put together for Loverboy. We finally get to see old long back lazy Amanda at work, if you can call it that. Y'all, this lady is so distasteful. And just throughout the In the City review, I'll bring up things that are related to In the City because they are getting news. And we know that they're getting news because of what went on with Summer House. Some of their cast is actually overlap from Summer House. So I'll put that up in case you're new to the show, or if you're like, some of my subscribers don't even watch the show, everybody. They just come here to listen to my reviews and to engage in the chat. I love that. I appreciate them. I love them. I think it is great. All these people on the stoop, everybody. This is the cast. So I'll start down at the bottom left. That is Kyle. That is Amanda. That is the married couple that I think Bravo thought would be the center. Long back, that's what I call Amanda. Oh, long face, long back Amanda actually had other thoughts. She is cheating with one of the dusty leg, unwashed leg, dirt buckets, West TD over on Summer House. So they have both been unfaithful. Kyle, I believe you have been as well. But Amanda is cheated with a friend. That's blown up that Summer House relationship. West TD has not been invited back. Unfortunately, we had to look at him on In the City. I think he thought he would, because he lives in New York, he'd be on that show too. No West TD. Bravo got tired of him. He and Amanda showed up, in my opinion, under the influence. And West TD admitted when Andy asked him. Andy straight out said, are you on beta blockers? Because at one point, half the men around him were crying over his betrayal and what the future is going to be in that house. And he was sitting there deaf, dumb, and blind. And I took a beta blocker. And Amanda was totally out of it. Her eye rolls were 4 seconds long. Her responses were 5 seconds long. And she was in a virtual nod. So thankfully, I will say this about Amanda. I was glad to see her able to respond, function during this episode, even though I don't like what I see. And Lindsay is right there in the middle. Lindsay and also her 10-month-old baby, Gemma, as part of that show. This next couple, the one seated, is Nick. He's married to Yvonne. Boring. I like Nick's furniture. He's a furniture maker, custom furniture, very pricey. He had stools for like $12,000, but they're handcrafted wood. And he says he sells to a lot of celebrities, but he signs NDAs, so he can't tell us who. Yvonne used to be working for publicity, marketing, that sort of thing, New York's nightlife. So she was very well known in those circles and out and about. Kenny and Whitney are a newer couple. I think they are a showmance. Kenny is an investment banker, and I think he is an investor in Loverboy as well, which is Kyle's business. And Whitney right there is from Bachelor Universe. So that's what we have there. The lady standing in white is Lexi. Lexi is married to Andreas. We have met them before on Summer House. Andreas is seated in the brown sweater. This person right there is Katie DeLuca. that is Amanda's one and only friend outside of West TD. We don't see a lot of her. Thankfully, I don't like her for some reason. She rubs me wrong. This lady in the middle is a little ditzy. She is Georgina. She is a dermatologist. She has 2 children that keep a lot going on. Their Gemma's roughly her age, but they're walking. So they're not 10 months. Gemma's walking too, but she has a little boy, Robert. Robert's still in diapers, everybody. I won't judge him. But he's in diapers during the day, which Georgina. And then seated is Ouin. He's used to be a tennis star, but he's putting together some type of virtual motel. Yeah, I don't know what that is, Owen. And we don't need you over here. He's a little bit boring, a little bit of snooze fest, but he's married to another woman, but he's just moved in with Danielle, who was standing off the side to herself. She's carrying his child. So Danielle can get activated, but she's pregnant at the reunion that they just shot. So I don't know what's going to happen there. White Cap, that's actually Gavin. They're not utilizing him enough, in my opinion. He's best friend to Kenny Martin down here standing. And Gavin is also owner of a speakeasy that they drink at quite frequently. So just to tell you a little bit about the reunion, Danielle wanted to bring clarification on her relationship with EOIN and updates about Amanda and West TD. And she advised EOIN to be honest, authentic, and open. I mean, that's what the reunion's for. And then Whitney, Kenny's girlfriend, also from The Bachelor. I've heard rumors they've broken up already. So again, I think that's a showmance. I really do. And that's Danielle. That is Whitney. So just started out there just to give everybody a little backdrop and give people a chance to come in. Thank you. Everyone saying good morning to each other. They both took something before. American Born, they did. And then Andy was the only one he asked was Wes. And then as Sierra, the nurse, yes, she's a nurse as well, let us know that beta blockers don't like shut down all emotion. They change your response, like your fight or flight, that's tamped down. So you're not sweating and things like that, but you still feel the emotions. He's just emotionless because he might be psychopath. I don't know. I just saw that the Italian guy and Lexi are expecting as well. Yes, they have that over there on Bravo. So it's great you said that. Thank you. I'm going to show that before I even start. I'm here. The Bush is about to start driving, y'all. I'm tired. Key1 JTV, you stay into something. Try to get some rest. Are you headed toward your vacation? She is headed toward rest. And again, this, of course, is Juneteenth weekend. Tomorrow is the day, June 19th. And those of us that could, taking the day off. And then some of us are pre-gaming. Be safe. Yes, American Born, please be safe. And thank you so much for driving in. Here's Cece. Cece, I was just telling Key1 J, some of us were pre-gaming. So she is doing a lot, but she's going to start driving. We know she's going to be away. So she's taking a little bit of time, but we're glad to see her in the chat and listening in. Thank you. Cece says hello again at Sandra Pigeon Extra, American Born, Key1 J TV, and chat. Yes, thank you so much for joining us again. Linda Gamble. Your auntie was here earlier and in the live, so I appreciate her coming as well. Thank you so much. So yeah, there's a lot of news over there in the city, people. Bravo TV, they're trying to make Whitney happen. We don't care. And Kenny, we really don't care about Whitney at all. I don't know. I want to see some shuffling around this cast. It's a little bit boring. And let's see, I'll find it later. I think they did on Bravo TV announce the news about his the boyfriend. No, they're not a boyfriend. Lexi and Andrea are the married couple. They actually got married in Italy, and that was the wedding that Kyle attended alone. But to contrast that with her attending a wedding with her boyfriend West, how you have a boyfriend and you're a married woman? She attended a wedding with West in Italy for his family, and when she did that, it kind of raised a lot of questions. Like, you're over there with your boyfriend, but you couldn't attend an Italian wedding for a friend with your husband. So that's a little bit crazy. And AB says it comes out. West TD went to producers and wanted Kyle and Lindsay and Carl gone from Summer House, and they were too old for the show now. Yeah, AB, you got to be careful doing that, because they say when you dig one grave, do what? Go ahead and dig two. Because you planned that for them, and now look at him. He's not on the show anymore. He's just on that dusty, sporty podcast. But for a sports podcast, they talk a lot about reality TV. So West TD, what's going to be your next move? I heard the too old comment as well about Carl and Lindsay. People vacation in the summer until you're not going to be falling down drunk and partying that whole time. But the too old thing, I'm not with that. Not just because I'm Gen X. I'm older than Kyle and Lindsay, and I love to take my vacations and will continue to. Now in the city, so is Amanda. Amanda's up in her 30s. And the group that is in their 30s, are they too young for in the city? No, because young people work and also live in the city. So West, I don't know how he could have made that case to producers, and he didn't make it successfully. All he did was get himself fired. That, and also going to his podcast, not being drugged up, drunk, or whatever else, beta blocker was wrong with him, and sharing more with podcasts, which is free on YouTube, than he shares with Bravo, who actually paid him. So AB, yeah, I did hear that as well. So we'll do a few extras. But right now, let's go in and start the review. Okay, sorry, everybody. This sometimes happens with my voice because I've been talking an hour on the other live. And then now here we are back. And it's a nice problem to have because I appreciate the people that were able to come back. And if you come in during the live while we're doing this review, thank you so much. But I'll just go ahead, start a great part of the review, and then we will I'll cover comments after, okay? So next, okay, I'm sorry. I think I loaded the wrong notes. That's okay. Let me just take that out. I apologize, everybody. Let me get myself together. All right. What I could do, I have them here. I'll actually start with this. I'll start with here. If I can move it over, I will. But I do have them in my phone, so I'd rather do that. All right. This is season 1 is episode 5. Trolley rides off the tracks. And then we have Kyle. We start out with Kyle. I like the way the Bravo shows start out with these little vignettes. Let me see if I can load this here. All right. They start out with little vignettes of the city. Of course, the beautiful New York view. I think that is great. And then we have Kyle. Basically, the dogs are walking him. So that is what Kyle is walking down the street with the dogs. Here's the part I didn't like. He actually let the dog that he was with, where Kyle stopped was like the front of a restaurant, and the dog wanted to use that grate to use the restroom. And Kyle let that dog use the restroom like right in front of them people's restaurant. So Kyle, instead of these dogs walking you, you need to go ahead and start walking these dogs. I thought that was a little much. The next scene that we had really got on my nerves. I will give Amanda a little bit credit for being alert, being awake, and all of that. But Amanda, one thing I don't like about Amanda is that she is a troll. She's always going to say something rude, nasty, unnecessary. And she's trying on a bathing suit. Her back is too long for that bikini. It doesn't look good. So Bravo, stop trying to force this lady on us. She's doing a fitting for a top. Ill-fitted, I might add. It's ugly. The top's called Sierra. Yes, that's Sierra. I need to make some new friends in order to have more names for my bathing suit. Her staff is laughing. They know how tasteless that is. She's trolling. Sierra shouldn't even respond. Gemma has a play date with Dr. Georgina and her children. Robert, I can't remember the other little girl's name, but Gemma always comes in the party. So she's looking around. She dressed up too, y'all. Got one little blue beret in her head. So Yvonne, for some reason, has been invited to this brunch as well. And she thought it was a brunch. It's not a brunch. Lindsay tells us in her confessional that it's one of her brand deals. And she says that with the brand deals that she's going to show up with Gemma, and as part of her being an influencer. In the confessional, she's saying that she doesn't really like what they call her. They said, well, what do we call you? She says, you just call me an influencer, but I like to be known as Gemma's mom and also a MILF. So, okay, Lindsay. Yvonne shows up. Yvonne is kind of overdressed because she thought they were going to brunch, but she says that she is trying to spend as much time as she can around people with children because she's convinced Nick that they're going to start on a baby. They are 4 years in to their marriage. And I put that in quotes because we find out later they're only married in Mexico. What is wrong with y'all two? They never filed the paperwork in New York, but that's something that they're going to get on. Georgina's two children are something else. Little boy's now potty trained, so he may have an incident at any point. And he also likes green. So they flash back to her telling Gavin about it. He's all green from the socks to the top hat if he's wearing one. And for some reason, he busts out crying, and that ends what was going on with them. But Georgina, for some reason, is in a confessional telling us a story about her son wanted to put on, he had an incident because he's not potty trained, and it was number 2. I'm being polite because it's breakfast time, and he wanted to put it back on instead of a clean diaper. So says she doesn't want to encourage that. Let's just skip that. But the long and short of it, she smeared chocolate in a clean diaper. Girl, there's something wrong with Georgina, and I think your husband is laying back and wait, and just be careful how you handle and cover certain situations on this show, because no reality show is worth losing your kids over. Ask Drew down in Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's not worth it. Next, we have Kenny and Kyle. They have a meeting. Kyle sits down. He looks a little, he comes in with a little trepidation. How are you doing? Kenny's passive aggressive. I'm doing. And Kyle says, well, I heard you had kind of a busy week. And he says, yeah, it's been an eventful week. Well, we had a conversation. Most of the conversation, I was saying all these positive things about Whitney, 90% of it, but the long conversation goes back where something about murky, and then we lack a spark. So how does Whitney, mostly positive? I think Whitney and Kenny are showmans. We really don't care that much. And I think Kyle is being so passive because I don't think that's Kyle's personality. Even though he's handled West TD a little too passive for my taste. Kyle, you should have fed West TD a knuckle sandwich sitting on your couch where he's already had relations with your wife. Yes, he did. The dog let us know that. The dog let us know. But Kyle is saying he was just speaking to the other men about it. He didn't know that it was going to be spread. That wasn't his intention. He's sorry about it. He and Kenny are not going to really fall out. And Kyle kind of has a little bit of handcuffs on how he deals with Kenny, because Kenny's not like out of pocket. He's not talking crazy. But Kenny's one of Kyle's investors. He's an investor in Loverboy, so he has to be careful how he handles Kenny. He can't talk too crazy. Next, Danielle is in the apartment with this lady's husband, OUIN, and Danielle is saying that Amanda has a lot of ish going on to be talking about me. Come on, Danielle, this is what we were waiting for. So she lets EOIN know that she didn't appreciate that. And Owen is saying, well, how's things going with you and Lindsay? Danielle's pretty excited that her and Lindsay have kind of made up, because we know they had their little feud going on. Danielle was totally out of pocket and a little crazy during Summer House when Lindsay and Carl were a thing and they announced the engagement. The person with a problem with it was Danielle. So Danielle, what was your problem with that? I don't know if she wanted Carl or not for herself, but her reaction was crazy. And she also had a disrespectful reaction when Lindsay was pregnant, when she was carrying Gemma. She was saying that it was too short of a time for her to get pregnant by that guy. You let him put a baby in you? You're going to be single momming it up. And then recently, this season in the city, season 1, she's in a confessional saying, well, I'm right about the things I get in trouble with. So I'm going to see how Lindsay's going to handle that during the reunion, which they already shot. So I'm going to take a little break here in order to engage with the comments, because this is American Born show as well. Now, this show, I'm going to finish the season. I'll commit to that, but it's kind of mid, it's kind of meh, but some of it's interesting. If they get picked up, there will be 3 new babies. Yeah, maybe that will get them a second season, American Born. There are things that they can cover, actually. Kiwan J TV said it sounded like that person pulled a Robin. Kiwan J, West TD did pull a Robin, and he got the Robin impact. We found out he was fired, or as they said, for now, he's no longer returning, or maybe he's been, go ahead, put me on pause, because he was acting kind of reckless. So that is exactly what happened, Kiwan J TV. Now, what we would like is to see long face Amanda exit left too. And we don't know if that's going to happen. She's boring. She's like watching paint dry. She's negative. I don't like Amanda. AB says to Kiwan J TV, West just ruined his chances of the spinoff he was going to get. Yes, what Kiwan J, what AB is talking about, there's a summer house, Ozarks, because evidently that's a big vacation area. where West is actually from, and they were going to build one around him. He has a group of friends, but y'all, I think he uses his friends for his own personality and his swagger, because he's one of those people don't really have a lot going on for them. Anybody remember an old movie called, not old, but well, it is an old movie, The Italian Job, but they remade it with the Mini Coopers. It's Marky Mark and Ludacris, and I can't remember who the other guy, but they put together this Italian Job. And one of the guys, he didn't have any personality of his own, and they were all sitting around like planning this heist. And he's like, I would have this, I would have that. The other guys, this one guy with no personality is just sitting up listening. And when they do the heist, the one guy betrays the other guys. They find out about it when they go into his mansion. Why did this man have every single thing that all of the friends had said they would get? He had no dreams, no ambition, no anything of his own. All he knew how to do was turn on people. So that's West TD. No personality, just borrows everything. And AB says, I hope Big Head just gotten a divorce now. Danielle is pregnant. I hope so too, because we're going to see where someone's going to ask, so are you still married now as we speak? And I don't know if they showed the answer or not. When they asked the question on In the City, the episode, I think it was Lindsay, he said no, or no, it was Yvonne. He said no. So Yvonne's hanging out with Danielle and Owen, and Danielle is upset that Amanda have put her and her relationship in the group chat. The group chat with Kyle. Y'all, Kyle is messy too. That is what binds him and Amanda, even though they're more than likely headed for divorce court. Kyle, would you take this old long back cheat back? I don't know. So she is complaining about that. They're playing Jenga. It's a huge Jenga thing. It's in a restaurant type place, but it looked like a lot of fun. So they decide, of the two couples, whomever wins is gonna be treated to lunch by the other couple. But Yvonne says, I never had an issue with Danielle. Lindsay and Danielle have had rough patches, but now that they've made up, it's comfortable. I can hang around them. So they're grown enough to not make your enemy is my enemy too. But again, that comes with a caveat. You can't have like an outright betrayer. If you go and you're best friends with that person, I have to look at you sideways. So it's not like on Houses of Atlanta where Shamia is telling K. Michelle, my group of people don't like you. And I can understand, even though the conversation went a little bit differently, I can see both sides of that. Okay, and AB says, I really hope Kyle doesn't take Amanda back. I'm praying because AB, I feel like he kind of has a soft spot for her. They were in a relationship 10 years. He is 43 years old now. I think he is ready to settle down. But like some men that they play that street thing for so long, by the time they're ready to settle down, the one that they were settling down with is ready to go. So Amanda says she liked being in the streets. West said he was going to show her the streets. She said she liked being out there. So this is a trip that she is talking about. She's talking about Danielle and Owen being cheaters because Owen is still married to another woman. Danielle's in a relationship with him, moved in with him, and now, as we know, pregnant with him. Amanda is talking about that, and she's cheating on her husband. So Danielle needs to rip her up for this at the reunion, whether she's pregnant or not, and drag this long back fraud. So we get a scene with, actually, Owen and Danielle lose, so they have to treat Yvonne and her husband, Nick, who is the furniture maker, to lunch. So the dermatologist is a single mother now because she's divorced. They are having a party. She's had to miss the party. She had her kids in the office, though. They were knocking on the door. And not that Botox is relaxing, but you should be able to sit back and like relax your face. They're knocking on the door and she's like, oh, the kids are in the office. I'm coming out in a minute. So she kind of got on my nerves. The lady didn't say anything, but I would have. We get a scene, kind of like an off scene. Now, Kenny, this is how I know this is a showmance. Kenny is looking for his long lost dad. He hadn't seen him in about 28 years. Again, Kenny's in his early 40s or so. So Kenny, you hadn't seen your long lost dad in 28 or something years. So when Bravo's camera picks up, that is the time that you're going to go looking for him? Okay, Kenny. So he says, I got a PI, and the PI said, wow, it's going to be hard. You only have this one picture, this, that, and the other. And then I heard that Whitney ends up finding the man on Facebook in like 20 minutes. So Kenny, this is why people don't like him, and they actually question him and question his motives, because Kenny loves being on TV. And the worst thing that a reality potential star could do is be desperate to be on TV. We see it over there with Shamia. I think that's why a lot of the audience doesn't like Shamia. Another scene, Kenny and Whitney. Whitney wants to be on TV too, and she's bored as watching paint dry. So they're actually out for a run. Oh, New York traffic. Oh, this is terrible. He was like, we're good. They pretend like they're getting ready to run across the street. Whitney doesn't run, y'all. She was gasping in 30 seconds. She was like, oh, can we take a break? I was like, just stop faking. I cannot stand this fake stuff, y'all. This is it's offensive to the audience, and I want people to stop doing that. So we get Kyle. He is hosting a Loverboy event. He rented an old trolley, and I thought it was cute. They have all this merch in there. Long back Amanda shows up for work. She's supposed to be some type marketing thing at Loverboy, but she's never working, but she's there. She shows up. All of the group comes. This might be the event that Georgina couldn't go to. So I like the way Kyle planned it. They're throwing merch out the window, but I wouldn't be picking up merch off the ground. They threw a hat at me, and they were like, oh, this is a true New Yorker. Pick it up. Put it on. Put it on. The guy puts the cap on, but I wouldn't have been doing all that. I'll take it home and wash it. They stop at a few bars. Kyle's like, I'm going to give whoever a prize if they get him to pick up Loverboy. Yvonne, remember, she used to be in marketing. She went in. She brought a taste test. The lady at the bar tasted it. It was pretty good. And she said that she would stock some of it. Gavin is in a confessional. Production says, you have a speakeasy in a couple of restaurants. Do you carry Loverboy? Gavin said, I do carry Loverboy. In support of Kyle. Doesn't really sell. Gavin is so shady. Gavin. We got Andreas on the bus with Lexi. Andreas keeps taking his shirt off. He wants the production to say, well, can you see my six-pack? Can you see my six-pack? The lady's like, woo, look at Andreas taking his shirt off. He looks pretty good. Again, I think Yvonne was the only one that got they're going to pick up Loverboy. Danielle starts to say that Owen and I were mentioned in a group chat. And Amanda, y'all, long back has found her throat. She didn't take a beta blocker. She starts yelling, I don't know why you're getting mad at me when Katie and her boyfriend are the one that brought it up. Why are you only mad at Kyle and I? Amanda, settle down. And Danielle's literally like telling her, calm down. She says, you're yelling. Amanda says, you're yelling at me. And Danielle's upset. Everybody is saying that, and it's hit a blog. So the more people talk about it, everyone's saying I'm a home wrecker. Gavin, y'all, why did Gavin say, is that not the case? Danielle said, no, it's not the case. Now, Danielle, all this timeline thing, I don't get into all that. Is OUIN still married? Yes. Okay. He's living with you and you're not his wife. You're another woman, right? Yes. So you may not be the home wrecker or the reason that their home is wrecked, but you're certainly standing in the way of reconciliation. And I don't care if a couple has been not divorced, but I'll say separated. Months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Some of these couples get back together in any length of time, and you don't want to be the person standing in the middle. So I don't care that she's mad about it. I don't like how Amanda's yelling up in her face. And Amanda doesn't have a backbone of her own. She got a long back, but it doesn't include a backbone, in my opinion. She's only yelling because Kyle is there. She's surrounded by her friends, and she knows that some of the people don't like Danielle. So Amanda trying to parrot what Gavin said. Is that not the truth? And Danielle's yelling, no, it's not the truth. Now, Amanda, you and West TD is actually a home wrecker. You're still married. So I found it interesting. She still kept yelling over Danielle. And then at the same time, this lady's such a gaslighter. She's like, I don't like people yelling over me. Danielle said, you're the one that's yelling over me. So the whole group is like kind of shocked. People start getting off the trolley. And Kyle's like, let's make this a stop. The driver was funny. He was paying a lot of attention to what was going on while driving. Danielle jumped off. She said, F off. She cussed Amanda out. And Amanda does one of those bug-eyed, stupid things she does. Andreas and Lexi went after Danielle. OUIN, Mr. Big Head himself. Y'all, he went into one of the bars and ordered himself a Guinness. That man was so relaxed and chilling. Danielle, he was not a protector of you. He was not. Andreas was checking on her more so than this other lady's husband. I can't even call him a fiance or anything. During this scene, he was still this lady's husband. She stood out there so long with Lexi and Andreas. I could tell that she wanted him to check on her and whether or not she's okay. He didn't. So Kenny, for once, wasn't the center of this. This episode was really mid, everybody. I'm going to have to give it, I'll give it a 6. This show basically the cast could actually cause this show to fail. The only attention it's getting right now is because of the whole Summer House connection and Lindsay and Kyle, people trying to see what Longback Amanda's going to do, whether or not another West TD sighting. I don't know, y'all. So again, the episode was just meh. It was okay. So I'll go through and engage in some of the comments. And y'all, this is literally a half hour. You know, that is short for a review. So what I'm going to do is I will cover a few extras as related to In the City, and then I'll read the comments, and then that'll just give us a few things to talk about. So let me pull up new comments that I might have missed. Oh, long face, long back. She's a hypocrite. And then you're laughing. Yes, American Born, she is a hypocrite. Why do you have it in the group chat? And then she's trying to throw Katie DeLuca under the bus. This is your only friend here. Why aren't you mad at Katie? Because if Katie DeLuca says something, who cares? If Kyle and Amanda are talking, they have more followers. They have more of a platform. And then, as Danielle said, it made the blogs. And I think it made the blogs because Danielle she's a slick one, everybody. They treat her like a baby, but she's a 35-year-old baby. If she's a dummy, she is. She probably would throwing people off the scent of her and West TD. Because remember when all this was filming? Yes, it's offensive to the audience. AB, exactly like we're stupid. We're not even new reality show viewers. The oldest show, OC, is having their 20th anniversary. So yeah, we've been walking around since we were in the city age, since we were 30, watching these fools. And so we know what it is, and you can't maneuver and manipulate and do that. Same thing with Shamia. People that try to force the audience to think a certain way, it just makes the audience dislike you because you're calling us stupid. I don't like it. No, because after the sit down with Lindsay, she still went to Italy with Sweatback. Oh, yeah. See, and the timeline is so confusing. That's why them pulling out a timeline, Jesse pulling out a timeline, Mihai got a timeline. I basically don't know what happened, but American Born, I know this is true. She did sit down with Lindsay because she was so drugged up, allegedly, and in my opinion, and from people that are in the medical field, observation of her and her boyfriend saying that he's on beta blockers. She was on something as well. She couldn't even react. She was sitting there basically nodding. And then because she couldn't defend herself or really act at the reunion, they had an aftermath. So they had an after party for the reunion, which we've never seen. A 3-part reunion, and then you need an aftermath where they do another sit down. They should have got fired for that. And then after her and Lindsay had that heart to heart, and Lindsay wanted to give her tough love as a friend, as AB points out, this fool still went to Italy and is on camera spitting olive pits in this fool's mouth. It barely made a 6 for me as well. Yeah, and American Born, we wanted to watch the show and encourage it, but nobody got an hour to waste. There's too much good stuff that we could be doing, too much good stuff that could be talked about other than this. So again, I commit to finish the season. They've already filmed the reunion, and then we'll see if they get a second season. I'm looking more forward to the kids than this mess. Next Gen NYC, I call them the kids. They have a pretty young cast. I think the oldest one was the model. Her name's got to come to me. I think they were saying that she was a transgender. I didn't know that. Someone pointed it out. I didn't even know that. AB says it shows what kind of person she is to throw her only friend under the bus. Katie DeLuca better be watching this. If she could do that to Sierra, who in and on and off 5 or 6 seasons has had this girl's long back from the bottom to the top. AB's laughing. Yeah, I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. Hell, Kyle as her husband, he's been a friend to her. And Kyle wasn't the best husband. She wasn't the best wife. Hoarding alone. I think that is the grounds for divorce, the way she keep that place. And he crying in the people interview, and she still got stuff at my house. Tell her boyfriend to come get it. Kyle, you man up. You tell him to come get it. Sick them dogs on him. One of the CCs was talking about it was 10 days after she went to Italy. Ooh, that's crazy. So within 2 weeks, she's sitting down listening, and Lindsay's known her a long time too. I mean, I've been around 10 years as well. Yeah, Lindsay's 10 years is different than Amanda's 10 years. Amanda, you started off as a jump off in that house, begging to be back, begging to be with Kyle so she could make the show. Because to me, she don't have her own personality to be on the show. AB says, yes, I love the Next Gen NYC kids. I do too. We get to just treat them like our little, even the ones that are kind of like questionable. Oh, poor Charlie. He's probably the oldest one. I think he's pushing 30. Or as Riley said, he's like 30. I'm younger than you. So yeah, Riley's younger than all of them. I think she just turned 23. Gia's young. Yeah, they need to bring Melania over there. If they talk crazy to Gia, Melania, wrestle them. We'll see what happens. So let's see. That was the end of that episode. We had a few more topics that are related to this. That Kenny looking for his dad, though, there was a funny thread that someone had about it. So let me show that. I'll share the screen on that. All right, Threads. That is my favorite social media site right now. Somebody said, Kenny paid all that money for a private investigator to give him 2 numbers that don't work just for Whitney to come along and find the dad's wife on Facebook in probably 20 minutes. And they laughing their tail off. I'm laughing too. Somebody said the investigator found out where he was living and who he's married to. They needed the name of his wife to track him down. So it was a combined effort. That still doesn't negate the poster's point, okay? He was on Facebook. Somebody said the investigator definitely failed with the phone number, but he gave the wife's name, which is how Whitney knew where to start. Okay, so that was people making a little bit fun of Kenny. Kenny, again, I think you just want to be on TV. All right, let's see what else we have. Hopefully they'll put something in here about Andreas. Yeah, here it is. This is nice. I'm happy for them. I like Lexi and Andreas. I think they are adorable. And I hope that Nick and Yvonne are successful because I haven't heard news yet. There it is, everybody. Oh, he looks so happy. Oh, wow. Look at the new daddy. Let me get this in.
I had, and New York is looking beautiful as usual, and nothing. It's time for me to do coffee. Stay tuned.
They got a nice apartment.
Coffee's ready, and it's time to deliver in bed, of course. And there she is. Let's see. It's my favorite time.
Okay.
My favorite.
All right, let's see Lexi. Enough of that. Coffee in bed. Y'all know Andreas is Italian. He has a home available there, and his family wants him and Lexi to come back and raise the baby. You wouldn't have to ask me twice. I'd be up out of this place. I'm telling you. All right, we'll read a little bit about this. In the cities, Lexi and Andreas are expecting their first child, a baby girl. They're excited to begin their journey into parenthood. I think that's lovely. So they're joining 2 in the city cast members, Danielle and Yvonne, who are also pregnant. Oh, Yvonne, yay. So her and her husband are pregnant as well. Yvonne and Nick, I love it. So 3 babies. You are right, American born. I love it. That I don't know. We'll see if they get a second season because the show has legs. That's New York City. That's the backdrop. They got their jobs. They have their group of friends. I think they need to add to the mix of friends. I want to see a Black couple, Sam, and then what's her name? Amy. I can't remember. Lindsay already has friends that fit New York's demographics. And this group doesn't look like New York. I'm sorry. They have room to add more people, and they would fit in. So that's a beautiful picture of them. They said the news can come at a better time. Ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. So congratulations to all the expectant couples in the city. I love that. I think it's really gonna help. I fast forwarded past that part with Kenny. AB, he's just too performative. I'm not buying what Kenny is selling. I'm just not. 3 likes, 2 in the chat. Thank you, CC. So a few people came in, dropped the like, and dropped out, which is fine, y'all. We are pre-Juneteenth. Tomorrow is the big day. I'm going to put together my Michelle Obama and Barack Obama opening of the Presidential Library, y'all. The tickets are sold out through November. So I'm going to start planning a trip to Chicago whenever I can get a ticket. And then a few of my family members I know will come with me. We went to the White House when the Obamas were there because Michelle Obama was there. My niece was like, I want to go to Michelle Obama's house. And we had to, you do paperwork and all the stuff that you do. We took a tour. It was beautiful. It was dignified. Her vegetable garden was still there before the ghoul tore it out. But again, tomorrow's Juneteenth. So hopefully you will be vacationing or at least resting or at least quiet quit if you have to go to work for that day, for that time. Yes, Andreas and Lexi are adorable. Yeah, I do. I really like that couple, AB. And when he gets into his bag, he's trying to get his thoughts out. English is his second language, so it's a struggle, but I root for him when he does that. I love it. And he's an emotional Italian. I love that about him. Gemma will have some new friends to play with. Yes, American Born, that would be really cute. She'll be a big sis to that group. And I love the fact that Lindsay's getting brand deals that actually incorporate Gemma, because that shoot that they had, it was a baby bike. And she was telling the lady, yeah, she's kind of a daredevil. Gemma with her little barrette in her hair. When they showed her face, AB, she looks like the Gerber baby. Adorable. Yes, those friends of Lindsay's would be good. Yeah, they can add more people. Cece says, I can't wait to go to Chicago to plan a Chicago trip to visit the Obama Presidential Library next year. I'm booked this year. Yeah, Cece, I'm booked too. I'm going to squeeze it in, though. I've got to. And then there's going to be some more. Sandra P. is free to move about the cabin. I'm so glad I didn't try to do the Knicks parade today. My brother made the right decision. He went back to Mexico. They're expecting 3 million people. There are places once they get in there. I'm just reading like social media reports. They're closing the place down. Like you can't get in or out after that. And people are getting a little afraid. So it's a little hairy, but I'm just wishing all great thoughts, because certain people would love to have terrible things happen. Because half of us are good and calm and want good things for everybody. And then a third are just ghoulish. And the 20% that don't care, come on, y'all, we need y'all to care. Come to the good side. That is going to be crazy. Too many people for me, AB. Me too. I'm out of it. I'm looking for coverage of it. I'll watch it like that. And then I think there are going to be a few live streams of tomorrow, the opening of the Presidential Library. So I plan to watch that too. But everybody, thank you so much for joining the live in the city review. And I appreciate you for coming back, those of you that did. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. Bye, everybody.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I